um, Amber kind of speaks up and says, I no need, but why don't you and I take first watch, because there's a lot of area to cover, and if we get into a kerfuffle, we want to make sure people are helping each other out.
So I don't need, if you want my help, you can just ask for my help. I get it if you have a hard time staying up. I will help you keep watch if you need it. And she'll look over
Sure,
at
yes, please, will
Brooks.
you? Thank you so much.
She'll like and give you actual the most cliche finger gun point ever. As she looks over at what Brooks, who was starting to make some motions as if he was going to chime in.
Physical hand to hand or anything we got?
Anything you got. I mean, seriously. Come
All right,
at
cool.
me.
I launched Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead.
Okay.
As he's about to do the Eldritch Blast, I like reach up my hand and I'm just like, what's the point?
Go ahead and make your attack roll. I'll let you
19.
A 19 hits her. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay.
5.
All right. 5 points coming from Brooks. Let's go ahead and get that angle right across the fire. So your Eldritch Blast warps the fire around. The fire starts to go towards Gilbin, who lets out a soft shriek as a few of his cards catch on fire, landing into Aya's chest as she flies backwards, hits into her sack, and then rolls over and up inside of it, tangled along it, coughing and sputtering before looking at you with an absolute look of hatred, and goes, "The hell kind of spar was that? I wasn't ready."
As Vadark said, you must always be ready.
Oh, great. And she's going to look over at Vadark. So all of you just let the strongest person of your party just attack the kid. That's the plan here.
Am I allowed to laugh and say I'm not the strongest? Oh, sorry, Amber, you go.
Well, actually, the plan was to take watch, but yeah. Why don't we? I think we all need, maybe some air, cool down, and maybe just a little time to relax.
She goes, God. She sits down. She is hurt.
Can I? So Amber asks, how hurt are you? Can I help you?
And are you approaching her, or are you calling from where you're currently at?
I try to approach her.
Okay. As you approach her, you can see that the Eldritch Blast landed hit her solidly in the chest, and she's developing a series of welts and red marks around her neck and her arms and chest. She was hit hard enough to cause sufficient damage. Her life isn't in danger, but she is hurt. And she is adamantly pointing out to you she's fine.
I can help you. Please let me help you.
Why? You're going to go ahead and have someone else hit me?
No, that's not the point here. If I'm going to ask your help to help me do first watch, I need to be able to rely on you.
What? You got like a bandage or something?
I can use my lay on hands, and I can help you out there.
I was just going to pause and go, what the hell's a lay on hands? Like he didn't lay his hands on me, and that hurt.
No, it's a spell to help me heal you.
Are you a cleric?
I am a paladin.
This is gonna paladin. Are you one of those, like, if you don't follow my spiel after I heal you, I'll smite you type?
There is some smiting, but you don't have to do what I say.
All right, well, yeah, sure, heal. And she's gonna literally walk over and position herself between you and Brooks, who she is literally trying her best to like shoot daggers at, but has completely lost all bark of actually barking at him.
Okay, so how much damage does she have?
So you're aware, whatever you use for lay on hands, since we're approaching a long rest, she will be fully healed regardless. So you can go ahead
Okay,
and just
yeah.
state how much of your lay on hands you would like to use. If you would like to
So I
use 4 points, 5 points, or 9 points.
I'll use 5 points.
Okay, that'll get her to the point where she's no longer breathing difficultly. Her wounds have settled down. There's still some swelling and some carryover injury, but she's much, much better off.
Okay. How is that? How are you feeling?
And she's going to do stupid.
It's okay. We all have our bad days.
This is a bad day. Seriously, do me a favor. And she's going to talk quiet enough that you'll be able to hear her. However, Aves, you're close enough that you'll be able to overhear this as well. She's going to say, listen, just, keep him away from me if he's going to like keep doing that stuff. And is there anyone else on this party I got to watch out for?
I don't think so, but I think everything will cool down and we'll be in a better space in the morning.
Yes. And Gilbin at this point in time, who's been watching, has reached over and got a small thing of rations he's been picking at. It's his second set. And he'll just comment, Aya, you didn't mention you were a gymnast. That was a good backflip. And Aya will just go,
Oh no.
scream an expletive at him and go, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm on watch. You can join me whenever. And she just proceeds to walk the perimeter of the campfire light at this time. And she seems to be just pretty much done with the night. And then Gilbert go, sorry, that was a compliment.
I kind of not catch up to her, but I kind of just walk after her, just kind of keeping an eye.
Sure. So she doesn't seem to push away from you, but she's very much so trying to work through the entire situation that just occurred. And you can tell that her knee-jerk reaction is to go and prove a point to Gilbin, but she has since been proven that she's not the toughest cat in the group right now, and she's afraid to overstep her bounds and get hurt again.
Does she see me? Does she say anything to me?
No, she'll respond with like some polite talk and everything, but she seems to have walled herself up pretty much at this point.
Okay.
However,
So I just,
but
sorry. So I mean, I kind of give her space, but I kind of keep an eye, just try to be present, be available.
sure. What you can do is you can make an insight check at this time to see whether or not you can glean information off of her body language.
Sure. Insight. Skills.
And while you're rolling that, Joy, at this point, Gilbin is also going to be leaning over towards you and making the offhanded comment of, when do I have to take watch? Does 1, 2, 3, 4... Seems like we don't all have to take watch, do we?
Jure looks at him and goes, I think as part of your learning experience, I think you should be the next one. I'll tell you what, we'll do it together.
That's unfortunate, but I'm glad to have you. Any chance I could pay someone to take my spot?
See, if you're here to learn, adventurers, we don't do that. We don't pay others. And I think this might be a valuable lesson for you.
Right. Okay, well, perhaps we can swap some fun stories then while we're on watch.
I love that idea. That sounds like a great idea.
Right. Then he'll look just positively mortified, having to go to sleep and then wake up and be on watch as he curls into his sleep sack and scoots closer to the fire. At this point, is there anything else any of you guys would like to do for the campsite scene. Would you like to engage Gilbin, or and then Amber, I need to give your insight check here. Check just a moment.
Yeah. So okay.
So
I gotta.
oh.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
As he's like curling up into his bed, I would like to create a minor illusion very softly behind his ear in his nasally voice saying, maybe it wasn't the best idea to make fun of Aya this early on.
The reaction is going to follow as suit. And I will get to that after the insight roll because it will definitely lead into something further. Amber, what did you get for an insight real quick?
22.
22. So from a body language perspective, she isn't physically injured. However, she is mulling over the entire scene repeatedly. And you can tell that she is almost reliving the confrontation and seeing how she could have responded to it, as if she is, chewing on like a better retort she could have had for when Gildan said that, or how if someone ever asks if hands are like, thinking like, no, next time I'll say something stupid, like we can start with this. And she's just that constant mutter. And you realize that what she's doing is that she's finding a way to be better prepared for those sort of confrontations in the future, but she's also letting them define as if that is what she should expect to be doing. And anytime you talk with her or speak with her or anything else, it's a dismissive brush off. Any type of engagement, it's a kind of yeah. And as a result, most of your watch with her will kind of play out in that form of like a back and forth where, just cursory talking. With that said, Brooks, you had a finger up. Is there something you wanted to say before I get on to the results of Gildan?
If Amber wanted something else to do, Amber could go before me, but I could go if you don't.
No, I think that's it, because I think like what John was saying is it'll just kind of be like the same. Go ahead.
Okay. So I kind of want, I don't know if it's a good idea, but hey, we're gonna go with it, I guess. Okay, can I use Misty Step and teleport into the tree next to her?
So Misty Step, yes, you would be able to just about get into the tree on either side. And then through that tree, you can make a stealth check to go just a little bit further down to get where she would be patrolling and walking around.
Well, I'm not trying to spook her. I'm just trying to get over there cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can Misty Step at any point in time. That's your bread and butter. But before you do that, I'm going to jump in with the Gilbin scene, and then we'll come back to you. So Gilbin, here's the message that Aves plays in his ear, portraying and mimicking his own voice. Aves, what I would like you to do, if you don't mind, could you give me a performance roll so we can see just how much he resonates with this message?
Absolutely. That would be an 18.
An 18. So what happens is he's already kind of hunkered down and he hears the voice popping into his ear. And the very first thing he does is he tries to do a push-up, but he is in a sleeping bag that is fully closed. So what he does instead is he basically does the beginning of the worm as he flops and like jolts and shakes trying to get out of his sleeping bag. And he's saying, what did I do? What did I just say? And he says that out loud for everyone to hear as he's sitting up with his sleeping bag halfway falling off of him and portions of a crushed ration spilling out of one hand, falling onto the ground. He seems to be pretty flabbergasted at the point, as though he said something he didn't mean to say out loud, scared himself, and then he trying to figure out why he would just say that.
Player one Aves will, as he's like basically looking into his wizard's spell book, looks up and says, "What do you mean, Master Hayasha?"
I'll look over at you and go, the weirdest thing, I don't know what I just said. Um, I think I need to go to sleep. Jiray, I'm so sorry. I might not be well enough to wake up, though I wish you the best in waking me. I'm afraid my mind is leaving, and I don't know where it's going. Well, tell my father he was right. He just lays back down.
Those trail rations don't seem to have agreed with you. Perhaps in the morning we should find some fresher fare for you to feed on.
Uh, I don't, I don't, I don't believe I'm going to say this. I don't have the appetite. He'll just kind of push the rest of the rations out, and he'll just be laying there. He's not sleeping. He is just furtively looking around in the trees and towards the rest of the group, and just seems to be confused. With that, Brooks, what would you like to do?
All right, well, can I stand up, start walking over, and then just
Mhm.
use Misty Step to teleport into the space right above where her token is? Player 4.
Sure. Absolutely. So you walk around over to the fire as she's kind of walking over towards the west, and then you just kind of teleport quickly over into the tree.
Yep.
Sure, you're able to do so.
Awesome. And then I look down towards her and I'm like, "You doing okay, kid?"
She somehow keeps her composure as she basically goes into a full squat, reaches for her mace that she has forgotten by her bedding, and then looks up at you, hands clenched, looks back to where you were, then looks back up to you again just to make sure it really is you. And she goes, "Never better," as she then turns around and walks over and starts patrolling in a different direction, going up and down. You scared her, but she thankfully was able to maintain composure. Lilu or Dre, is there anything that you guys would like to do for the scene?
Lilu wants. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lilu.
So Lilu kind of like goes to Gilbin, and she's kind of like playing on one of her instruments and says, "Hey kid, you seem a little rattled."
Yeah, I suppose the crumbs in my knapsack are making a bit of a shaking noise. Yes, so rattled would be accurate. I don't suppose you know any tunes that can induce sleep?
I might just have something up my sleeve. And she starts to play something kind of soothing and mellow.
One moment, please. And he will stand up and then kind of usher you back over to your spot, and he will walk over and drag his own cot up over to that spot over there. And then he will lay down next to where you were setting up, going, I don't want to make it so you have to leave where you're sleeping, and this way I can hear it for longer. Please, this is very nice.
I appreciate it. You know, I know on one of my first adventures, I had some nerves myself. Stomach didn't feel great. Felt a little anxious.
Well, I'm sure you wanted to be here too, so that's a slight difference from me.
I was wondering if your heart's in it.
My heart is in my couch back in my home. So, unfortunately, my father is convinced that I'm a useless piece of crap that doesn't deserve the food he feeds me. And that because I do such a piss poor job in the merchant side, I need to see what it's like with the everyday, well, I'm sorry. I was going to say riffraff, but that would have been ill words to use with your group. But alas, how it is referred to. So he told me I'm useless. I might as well go learn some pertinent skills, go follow some adventurers, gain some life experience, and come back more appreciative.
Sounds like you and your pops don't have the closest relationship.
Oh, we're close. I occasionally feel his hand on the back of my head. It's pretty close, I'd say.
Hmm. That's the breaks, kid. Well, maybe if nothing else, I know you don't want to be here, but maybe you can learn something.
Oh, I've learned that, well, most of you are quite caring and compassionate and are trying your best to show me what for. I just hope that regardless of my poor performance, you put in a good word so that my father won't think I'm a total lost cause.
Well, I can't speak for what your dad has to say, but I think you're all right.
You're kind.
So Lilu continues to play and try to help soothe and calm his nerves a little bit.
And he's appreciative of it. He seems to be relaxing a bit more, and he's still not trying to fall asleep, but he is no longer as anxious as he appeared before, where he was trying to figure out why he thought something out loud that he didn't think in the first place. And Jeray, did you have something that you want to jump in and do or say?
Yeah, Jure was going to approach Gildan, but then Lilu was able to play some music. So instead, she took a step back and realized the amount of noise that the group was making with the explosion earlier, and then the screaming, and then the music playing. So she wants to take a minute and listen around and see if there's anything to be concerned about in the area.
Sure thing. So go ahead and give me an active perception check.
10 plus 3, so 13.
13. Beyond the crackling of the fire, the huffing and puffing of Aya as she is patrolling with strong intentions of like carving a miniature route in the actual dirt. But there isn't a whole lot else going on. This is a relatively safe area of the forest. However, there has been rumors of owlbears in the area. There's been rumors of various wolves and the very rare but occasional goblin sighting as well. Nothing has given you pause though. There's still the typical nightlife. You can hear the various crickets and animals, and you're able to feel as though nothing is imminently coming that would be considered a threat. And the fact that Amber is following along with Aya, and you also have Brooks over in the far corner, you feel pretty at ease that despite the loud noise, the party is safe.
Then Jure decides, since she realized that a lot of people may not get enough sleep tonight, Jure turns to the group and go, okay, I'll take second watch, but I need to sleep now. And she goes to her sleeping bag.
Good call. All right. And Brooks, would you like to climb down from the tree and then go back to the sleeping bag?
I would like to teleport down. Wait, can Misty Step happen again?
You can cast it with a spell. If it's a racial, it's a one-time use.
No, it's a spell. Okay. So Misty Step down. We go back to the sleeping bag. Good night, merry creatures of bipedalness, because we're not all humans.
All right. So as you guys are turning in for the night, you will go through an order of watches. What I would like to know is that after Dre and Gilbin, who will be taking the third watch and who will be taking the fourth watch?
Vadark will take fourth watch.
Okay. And I need one for third or one or more for third.
Lilu can do third.
Great. So I've went ahead and double checked on my random encounter table. There is nothing that occurs from an event perspective on any of the watches. Aya does have difficulty falling asleep. So Jure, you do notice that she is tossing and turning. She's kind of trying to find a way to be comfortable, but she eventually does doze off halfway through your watch. Gilbin didn't fall asleep until his watch was started. Then he did get up with you, walk around, and he was out like a light the moment his head was down on the ground. He was just pure exhaustion at that point. Everyone else, you've slept well. Any spells or abilities that you expended have been restored thanks to the long rest, and you feel invigorated. The morning breaks. You guys are able to pack up camp, and you can begin the process of heading towards your next stop, which is called the Mountain Pass. And at this point, I'll go ahead and invite you all to take a 3-minute break. It is currently 8:46 Central for me, so let's go ahead and take a 3 to 4 minute break now. Leave your cameras on, and then we will pick back up at the Mountain Pass right at 8:50, 9:50 Eastern. You guys have been marching for a long time again. The march from the forest where you camped out over to the Mountain Pass took all day as planned. Gilbin was better than the previous time. He was complaining less. He was still having a hard time with pace, but through the motivation of the party, he was able to maintain it. And Aya was still kind of just doing the same thing. Once she got back on the road, she was seeming more invigorated. She was looking around. She was trying to spot things. She was kind of darting ahead of the group and then waiting for you to catch up, and then kind of falling to the left or to the right, almost like she was just filled with energy, and she was just trying to go and look and find something to do. Go ahead, Amber.
So as she's kind of doing this, Amber kind of checks in with her, is like, did you see anything? Just kind of engaging with her, like kind of almost like encouraging kind of this, like, you know, almost like, you're helping us out. This is great. You know, the more eyes around, the better we'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she'll chime in with you and everything, but rather than telling you what she sees, she's going to be complaining more about what she doesn't see. And she'll be highlighting like, there's nothing on the road. This is just, and so she's going to jog ahead again and then kind of like wait and look. And, you know, another series of disappointments. And this repeats all the way through. As you guys pause to have like a meal or something, she'll eat and be calm enough and everything. But she's pretty anxious to get to the final destination. And eventually you do. You know, you get there, it's getting dark. And as soon as you're approaching up to the pass, she immediately takes out her torch, and Gilbin does as well. And they light their torches. And they're looking around and approaching. And you can tell the mountain pass is a little bit more ominous than it was before. As a matter of fact, it feels a little bit more dangerous. You're walking along, and as you're trying to get your bead on what is going on in this area, you're noticing long, thick strands of webbing hiding along nooks and crannies of the crags. And you're noticing a distinct lack of small animals in the area. No squirrels, no birds, no lizards. And you're continuing into the mountain pass as the sun continues to set. And as you get up to the area that you can see before you, as the path twists and turns through a little bit of a narrow area, a place that gives many wagons trouble, that's when Aya rushes forward. And she's like looking, trying to figure out what things is, holding her torch up high for all of you to see that may not have night vision. And as she does so, well, that's when most of you see the large spider coming down over top of her head, just out of her view.
Shoot.
She's completely unaware of it at this point. And she's looking around down and inside of the caves to her left and right. At this point in time, I'm going to invite the group to roll for initiative.